Hello, welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching Muhyo to Ryoji Episode 3. Still not going to say the whole title. um, so last episode, we had two sections. The first one, we opened up with this little kid. He's looking for a spot to do a courage challenge or whatever you call it. I know I've seen this in anime before. And he finds this temple. It's like a rundown temple that nobody uses anymore, and he figures it's a good place to go. And he's walking down the street afterwards, and he sees the sign for Muhyo and Ryoji's spirit detective building office. Was it a spirit law or something like that? Spirit law office. And he, I think he throws a rock through the sign and it breaks. Then the next day they're wondering, I wonder who did it. And Muyo's not really caring too much. He's reading his manga. He don't care. And they end up meeting the boy who did. I can't remember his name, but I think he ends up going to the office, and he's telling them, "Oh well, ghosts are not real, so you're just a bunch of scam artists." And he's telling them that he's doing that courage thing at the temple, and Muyo's telling him, "You probably shouldn't go there. Not a good idea." But he don't believe in that stuff, so he's like, whatever, shut up. I'm going to do what I want. And then he leaves. I think he called him Onion Head. Yeah, he called Muhyo Onion Head. Anyway, he leaves, and it's nighttime, and he's with his two friends. They're going to do their courage walk. And apparently there's some spirit in the temple. But again, he doesn't believe it, but he's walking towards the door of the temple, and he's like kind of freaked out because it's dark and it's probably creepy out there. And once he gets to the door, he's like, I knew there was nothing here. And he sees this, what did I call it? Basically, it's a seal, to seal off evil spirits and stuff like that. And it's on the door, but he takes it off and throws it to the ground, and then goes back to his friends and was like, see, there was nothing to it. Not that bad. And then, the evil spirit comes out of the building and chases off his friends, and he's about to get eaten. Then Muhyo and Ryoji show up, and they save him. And then send the spirit to hell. After that, they go back to the office, and the kid is still hanging around. I don't know how he got into the door, because they wouldn't let that one girl in from the first episode, but he was able to get back in. And he's all like, I thought I told you to go away. Get out of here. You're not supposed to be here anymore. We've dealt with you already. Then again, he wasn't really a client, because he didn't hire them. It was just something they did on their own. So, I guess it doesn't apply. Anyway, second half. The little boy brings this girl with him. This girl he knows. Older girl. Like teens. And they're talking about the spirits, and she's kind of having a little difficulty listening to it. She doesn't really believe it, but she's been having some issues at the house. Basically, she's a photographer. And she's been taking photos, and in all of her photos there's been like this black shadow behind everybody, or in like certain locations. And she's thinking, it's just a trick of the light, or something went wrong with the development process of the photos. And Muyo's like, no, these are real. You got a spirit in your photos. Yeah. It's not anything to do with a error with printing or whatever. There's an actual spirit here. She doesn't believe it though, and she goes back to her apartment, and ends up seeing the spirit. Turns out it's her father. He was a photographer, a very well-known photographer, and ended up starting to fake photos with ghosts in them because he was starting to not get work. And since people were into that kind of thing, are into that kind of thing. I know I am. Although I'm not going to take every photo as real. I mean, some of them just look fake. But he started faking photos, adding in like shadows and stuff to make it look like ghosts were there. And she didn't like that, and he ended up... How did he die? Did he have a heart attack? He ended up dying. And he was in the house kind of watching over her, but also trying to get her to notice that he's there. But yeah. Turns out that basically when he died, it was kind of the same situation as the first episode. She was angry at him, kind of smacked his hand away, ran out of the door, and then he died. Which kind of like the first episode, like I said, where she, the one girl was kind of tired of her friend and like thought she was annoying now, and like pulled her hand away, and she fell into the train and died. Kind of similar, but not exactly. Anyway, Muhyo and Rouji and the little boy show up. And Muhyo uses his book to call these, I think they were called knights or something. They came down and they were supposed to like execute him, send him to hell. But they turned on him and fired a shot at Muhyo. He's able to block it with the book, but it knocked him out for a couple of, like a few seconds. It wasn't until after when he figures out, that it's her father and everything, that he charged him with the wrong crime. And then he says something, I forget what crime he actually ended up charging him with. But the punishment was getting sent down the river Styx, which Rouji didn't like. I mean, you think he would know him by now, that he's going to give him a sentence that's going to fit the crime. And it wasn't exactly a bad crime. He wasn't hurting anybody. I mean, he accidentally hurt her, but that was because he was like knocking down a bunch of stuff that I think he was ashamed of. So it was an accident. But he eventually told them, going down the river Styx is just the punishment where he thinks about what he's done, and once he's gotten over it and everything, then he can go to heaven. So it's not like a eternal damnation type of thing. So, yeah, you'd think he would have known better than to question what he was doing. He did the same thing in the first episode where he was sending that girl's friend to hell. But then changed it a bit after he saw that she kind of she wasn't as evil as she was in the beginning, because most of the spirits that entered her body were gone. So he changed the punishment a little bit, where instead of getting just directly sent to hell, she would go through purgatory, I think, and then end up like in heaven or something like that. I can't remember exactly. It was 2 episodes ago. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this episode to see what happens, what new clients we're going to see, what new law, like punishments he's going to dish out. So let's get into this. Video is going to be located over here, and the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.